welcome back to my channel. If you are new, welcome. I'm so glad that you are here. We are doing a monthly, well, we're doing a 2-month recap. We're doing an end of the year sewing from November to December. I usually do it every single month, and I just missed the November. December was so busy and came up so fast. All of a sudden it was like almost Christmas. I was like, I haven't even done November, so I decided to just bunch them in. So what I do is every month, well, I have this running list. This is actually everything that I made in 2024. Now there's probably some things that aren't on here that I missed, or like little things that weren't really important or I just didn't put on here. Or there's also a lot of, if you don't know, I do create my own patterns, and with that I sew up a lot of samples before I even get the pattern into testing to make sure the fit is okay. And there's a whole bunch of those things that are just samples that I don't ever really share, that are just, sometimes I wear them, sometimes I donate them, things like that. Just kind of depends on how it turns out, or I just cut it up and I'll use it for fabric for clothes and things like that for my kids. Now, if you are new here, I will be going through all the patterns that I used. I will talk about the fabric I used. I'll talk about if I didn't like the pattern, if I do like the pattern, if I like the fabric choice, things like that. I will also link everything down below. Some of them are affiliate links, some of them aren't, but I would appreciate if you do want to grab a pattern or a fabric from a company that I mentioned, to use the links that I put down below, because like I said, some of them are affiliate links. They don't cost you anything to use, but I do get a kickback, and all of these videos I'm doing on my own time, my own dime, and buying all these fabrics and things like that. So my whole point of this video is to kind of make a diary for myself of everything that I worked on. I feel like I got nothing done from November to December, and I actually have like this pretty big pile of clothes sitting here. Very little of it is for me, and I did spend a lot of time working on patterns, and I feel like just so when I squeezed things in, I kind of forgot about it because it was just in between like another project. So looking back now, I'm kind of like, whoa, I'm really surprised on how much I got done. And I also like to make these videos to introduce you to new patterns, or give you some ideas and new fabric companies, or just kind of tell you, like, you know, I didn't really like this pattern and this is why, or this fabric is kind of eeny, things like that. And the last thing, a lot of these I will make tutorials and things like that on. So if I do have a tutorial for it, I will link it down below. So starting off, we will talk about what I am wearing. This is something I made in November, and this is they call it a rework shirt. So I took this Carhartt t-shirt, and you just cut off basically you take it from the shoulders and cut it all the way down, and then you take a flannel and you cut it again at the shoulders, or at the neckline, at the collar, all the way down, and then you just sew it together. And these are really popular. People pay like ridiculous amounts of money to have somebody else make them for them, and they are so easy. It's like crazy. I just left this one. Sometimes they will flip them up and hem them. A lot of people like to tuck them and wear them like that, or just leave them like this. You can see then you have this kind of grungy on even hem, and I left it like that because I do prefer to tuck it in, or some people even do the high tuck, so it makes it kind of a super, I can't do it right now, but super high-low crop folded under. Did make a reel of making this one and how I did it, so I will tag it below. I don't know if I put it on my shorts, but there'll be a video down below on quick tutorial on how to do this. Like I said, it's not very hard. You can play with it. You know, some people, sometimes they'll take off these pockets and then put them back on so that the pocket overlaps, or, you know, adds a hood, and then you can get a little bit more creative and, you know, color block and things like that. But this is the very simple version. So the next thing that I made, if you follow me on Instagram, you probably followed along. These are the ribbed leggings from Lonely Kids, and then I guess you could say hacked them, but not really. I made these dino spikes and added them to the sides, and I am obsessed. I made them for my daughter, and then when I cut them, I accidentally cut two fronts, and I wasn't sure what I was going to do because I was like, didn't realize it until they were all completely sewn. I had already added the spikes, everything. So I tried them on my daughter, and they are supposed to have like a 1-inch fold over elastic waistband. And as you can see, like I said, the last 2 months have just been very chaotic. So a couple of these are not done. There's like one step that I need to do. So that is going to be on my list, but I have put these on my daughter because I do put them under a sweater romper so you can't even see the waistband. But what I decided to do is just cut the waist line and make it so that the rise is about the same, and then I'm just going to use a 1/2-inch elastic when I do the fold over so that it comes up to the same spot. And they were relatively high up on my daughter's waist to begin with. So that is these, and I did make them in a cotton spandex from Raspberry Creek, and these were this one was a cotton spandex, and then these are double brush poly. I don't know where I got them, but I did make another short little reel on how to make the dino spikes. They're really simple, and like I said, am obsessed. I actually forgot to grab it from my daughter's room, and she's sleeping right now, but I will pop up a picture, and I will pop up pictures as we go through of the item being worn if I have it, just so you guys can kind of get an idea of what it looks like on. But I made the sweater romper from Lowland Kids in a really cute dinosaur print from Raspberry Creek that I have had, and it is like one of my favorite prints, and I love it. And I used all of these colors on it, and just it's like a rainbow print. So like I said, I'll pop up a picture. Love it. I love the sweater romper for Lowland Kids. I wouldn't use it after like 18 months, but that's just my personal preference. And then I throw on a pair of leggings under it. And the sweater romper I did do in, it's a cotton spandex French Terry, which is like one of the house bases at Raspberry Creek, and they just print on it there. And I do have an affiliate link for Raspberry Creek, which is like, if you follow me or have watched any of my videos, I almost always mention Raspberry Creek and how much I love it. So if you haven't checked out Raspberry Creek, check out Raspberry Creek. And I do have an affiliate link for them. So if you check out Raspberry Creek, use my affiliate link so that I get a little kickback and I can buy more Raspberry Creek fabric. Anyways, the next pattern, or the next thing, this is really in no order. I just have a pile on my desk. So I will try to remember what was in November and December, but it doesn't really matter. Just we're doing year end. Really most of it was November, but this was the last pattern I released of the year, and this is the Tara tank, and I am obsessed with it. I could not find a pattern for a really good, just basic layering tank, and I wanted it to be lined because I hate binding, and I also like the look of a lined neckline. It's just really sleek and clean. So this is the Tara tank. There's two options for the straps. There's one that's a little bit wider. I think it's like 1 inch wider. There's 3 necklines, a high neckline, a mid neckline, and then there's like a low scoop. And then you can do it at any length you want. There was a crop, a modest crop, and then a shirt length, and it is fitted, and I love it. This one I did the reversible option, so there's also a couple finish options. So there's a reversible option. You could do a fully lined hem option or a shelf bra. So this is the reversible option, and I used a bamboo spandex. From the gray is from Boho Fabrics, another one of my favorites. And then the mauve is, I think, from Sincerely Riley. I bought it a long time ago. I made a shirt. Didn't like how it turned out, so it's just been sitting in a pile, and so I thought it would be perfect to use for this, since when you do things lined or reversible, you want them to be pretty much identical in weight and stretch. So since these are both bamboo spandex, I decided to cut up that shirt and make this tank top. And this is the crop length as well. And then this is that same gray bamboo spandex. This is again from Boho Fabrics. It's just super soft and cozy, and this is the Sarah top. It's very wrinkly. in my closet. And this is just a dolman style sleeve, and it has a couple different sleeve options. All short sleeve, you could do a ruffle, you could do a band, or hemmed. So I just hemmed it. And then this is the scoop neck. There's also a crew neck option. And then you could do all the way to a dress, and there's a big pocket option. So this is like my go-to for a super quick pattern. There's only 3 pieces when you do this version, the front and back, and then the neckband, and then you can hem it, and it's just big, oversized, not too oversized. It's not where you're gonna drown it, but I love this pattern, and it's just super flowy. And this one, I will say, in the bamboo spandex is just really light, and it's like you can see the whole outline of my hand from it. So just take that for what it is. It's not very forgiving in what's underneath, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But I love this for like lounging around in pajamas. I made a lounge set with it. So with that, I made the Winnie pants from Made for Mermaids. And these are pants you've probably seen. They're kind of a wide leg. They have a pin tuck down the front. And I did no pockets on these. And they're just really cozy. And again, probably wouldn't really wear them out of the house. They're just, like I said, not very forgiving fabric, but they are so comfortable. And I have made these a couple times before, and I love them. I will say I have also made them with the yoga waistband, and I have seen lots of people have this issue, and I had the issue to the waistband being way too big. So if you do make it with the yoga waistband, check it before you sew it on. They may have updated it, but I do not believe that I have seen anything with them ever updating that waistband, even with so many people having issues, which I have my thoughts about that, but that's not my problem. So the next thing that I did is another Tara tank, and this one is a little bit wild, just the prints. So this is one side, this is a double brush poly, and then here's the inside. So it doesn't match at all, but like I said, it doesn't really matter. And this is the wide strap and the low scoop and the shirt length, and then this is reversible. And I haven't finished this because I am going to film a tutorial on how to do the burrito roll method to make it reversible, because it is a little bit confusing to do that hem. It's really not that hard, it's just a little bit confusing. So I also use this one for photos, and it just helps to have 2 completely different prints for that. So yeah, but I do like both of these prints, and just you can't see the inside, so it's okay. And then another Tara tank, which when I drafted this pattern, this is the tank top I had in my mind. I really wanted a fitted skinny strap, kind of a scoop neck, striped tank top. Now, I wasn't imagining a black and white, which you probably can't really tell. This is actually a really dark navy, which even the background or the inside fabric is black, and you can't really tell unless you really study it. So I'm okay with that. I can kind of pull it off being navy or black if I want. And then this one is the shelf bra option. So the shelf bra is up there, and then it's just hemmed, and it's the shirt length. So I love wearing this cardigan over it, tuck it in some high-waisted jeans, and you're good to go. All right, next are these really adorable sweatshirts. Let's see, this was leftover fabric from Raspberry Creek, of course. It is a French terry, and these are both the Lowland Kids raglan. So it has the option for a hemp band, or you can make it a peplum. And so I did the peplum for my daughter, and then I did the regular raglan for my son. And I made these to match a dress that I made for my daughter last year from this fabric that I had left over. And this is just a really quick sew, and I do change out the binding around the neck for a neckband. I just really like the neckband better. Again, I just don't really like the look of binding a lot of times. And neckbands are a lot easier, so that's what I do. But I thought these were so cute, and my kids love the little gingerbreads. But then this one I made for my son. You can kind of see the color a little bit better. It's like a dark olive. It's a rayon spandex, or not, it's a rayon French terry from Boho Fabrics, and it is so soft. And I'm not 100% sure how well it washes. A lot of times a rayon French terry will pill, and sometimes it's itchy on this inside, but since this is so soft, I don't really think that we're gonna have this issue. And this is the midi raglan from Lowland Kids, and my son loves it. It's kind of a more oversized fit. I will say it does run kind of short. My son is not on the taller side. He's definitely on the shorter side for his age, and I did size up one in this even, and it is still a little bit short on him. So if I make this again for him, I will definitely add at least an inch. This is a 4T, and he's typically about a 3T, but he's like really short. So I will add a little bit of length to this, so you may want to just check the length if you do decide to pick up the midi raglan. All right, and next, again, I forgot to grab the top for this, but these are the slope sweats from Lowland Kids. It was a newer pattern that released in November, and then it has a really cute pullover that has a fun little like collared zip and a cool front pocket. I'll post a picture of my daughter in it, and these are just the basic pants for it. There's, I don't remember what it is, but I think there's all kinds of pockets and things that you can put on the pants, and it just makes really cute options. And they are sold separately, so they are separate patterns. So I would probably say you could, if you have other joggers, you could do without the joggers. They're kind of a more fitted style. They are a little bit tighter fitting, but the pullover is adorable and really fun to sew. I do hope to eventually do a tutorial on that video at some point, so if I do ever add a video, I will post it down below as well. But these, I just used this is just like that rayon French terry that I was talking about. This one is pretty soft, but it's lightweight, like you can kind of see the light shining through there. And then I used just cotton spandex for the color blocking on the pullover that I made. And now heading into, these kind of started the trickle down effect. If you have been following me, you may have seen, you may have missed it. I did make a post about it, but I am sewing up every single pair of pants that Lowland Kids has and comparing them. There's always all kinds of questions on like, which pants do you recommend? What's the difference? And so I decided, I already had a good chunk of them. So I decided I'm gonna sew up every single pair of pants in my daughter's size, which is 12 month, and take pictures of her. And then I'm gonna make kind of a chart and talk about which ones are the like most fitted and the easiest and takes the longest and things like that. So that is a lot of what's in this pile is pants from Lowland Kids that will go into that. And I'm also trying to, if I can, film a tutorial as I sew up the pants, because some of them, while I do have the pattern, I have never made them before, and I don't know if I will make them. Early on, when I first discovered PDF sewing patterns, it was really easy to get carried away when there were sales and things like that, of like, oh, I might sew this, so I'm gonna buy it now. And so I have all of these patterns in my computer that a lot of them I haven't even downloaded, that I have never even sewn, that I bought because I might sew it. So I will say I have stopped. I will only buy a pattern if I am going to sew it within like an hour, because otherwise I'll buy it and forget about it. And I'm sure so many other people are like that. And I don't care if I have to pay full price. I would rather pay $10 for a pattern than spend $30 on 8 patterns than only use 2, which is kind of what was happening. And I think that that happens a lot with the digital items. They're not going to sell out, so don't go crazy buying all those patterns unless you're really going to use them. And even I was like, oh, I'm going to use these. And, you know, life just comes at you fast and you never know. So there's my little tip on money saving in sewing. Now, if it's a paper pattern, things like that, like a McCall's or something, you know, I say buy the pattern because those do go away. But next we're gonna move on. These are the Flora leggings or tights from Samantha Marie Designs, and these are a super quick sew. There's only 3 pieces to them, or you could do 2, and then you could do an elastic fold over waistband, which is really easy. And they're just sew down the side and around the toe, and then you add the waistband. Now I will say these fit very long on my daughter. I was a tester for them, and a lot of people were talking about that they don't fit very well or that they were long. They did take off some length, but I did think that they were still really long on Ellie, even when I graded down for her inseam. And the other thing, while these are really quick and simple, I probably wouldn't really use them very often. Like, my older daughter will not wear these because these just have that seam at the toe, and that's not really ideal. And then they're just straight down, and so your foot is meant to bend, so they do bunch up quite a bit at the front of the foot there. So if you're looking for a quick, easy sew that you want, I would pull these out for tights. But I do have another pattern that I would recommend over these if you are looking for one that's a little bit better. And I did use, I don't know if you can see, this is a pointelle rib knit from Boho Fabrics, and it was great for this. It's so soft and cozy, and it is a little bit see-through on these, so there's kind of opaque like tights, but you also could use any other stretch materials that you wanted. Oh, okay, so these are the Cozy Footy from Lowland Kids, and these are probably what I would recommend over the tights pattern. And I do know that I think it's Peekaboo Patterns released basically the same pattern as the Samantha Marie Designs like 3 weeks later, so that has that same fit, if you just for comparison. And the Lowland Kids footies are what I would recommend over those, and here's why. So these are made with an actual like foot on them, so they lay nicely down here at the foot. They have this seam here. Now these do take a little bit longer and have a couple more pieces in the pattern to make it like that, but I do think it's completely worth it. It also has the gusset on the back booty, which is really nice, especially for like little babies in diapers. And like my older daughter probably wouldn't wear pants just like this. Like these for my baby daughter, I would just pull them up over a onesie and leave it like that. But for like tights and things like that, it is covered, and these are pretty fitted as well. So if you're looking for a little bit nicer pair, then I would go with the Cozy Footies. The other thing is, if you're using something really thin, you would see all of the seams on the sides, but again, that's just kind of a personal preference for that. Oh, and this is a I think it's the American milled waffle from Million Dot. They have a lot of great organic options. They did have some imported options, but I think they're doing away with that for now, just due to space issues. So this is a cotton spandex waffle, and it's not like what you think of a typical waffle. It's like squishy and soft and really thick. I love waffle fabric. I love the organic waffle fabric. The only companies that I know of, there may be more, are Million Dot, Icy, and L&E that sell these fabrics, American milled, and I think they all use the same mill, so you're getting pretty much the same quality from any of those. And on to the next one. These are the joggers. Oh, and I do have a tutorial for the tights and the footies, so you can check those out as well if you want. But these are the Lowland Kids joggers. These are my favorite pants for any kid. So if you're looking for like a pant pattern that you want that's gonna work for any kid, you know, from a baby, whether it's a girl, a boy, I think this pattern goes up to a 10, and then they did start making youth patterns. I don't know if they did the joggers in the youth patterns or not, but they're just so cute, so straightforward, and I love them. Like you can see here how I kind of curled these up and added in the little pizzazz. And they do also have a short version. I wouldn't really recommend the shorts for a girl, depending on what you're looking for, but they are quite a bit longer. I have made them and shortened them a little bit, and that has worked. So you always could do that, just take an inseam. That's just one thing to note on that. But the Lowland Kids joggers is probably the most universal kids pant pattern that I have found. So I have made a lot of these. I have gotten really fast at doing them. And I just love them, and I love the waistband, especially when I get that top stitching on there. And I do, again, have a tutorial for these pants, and I do have a tutorial for top stitching elastic. So if you want some help with that, I will link that down below as well. And then again, fabrics from Raspberry Creek. Okay, and another Lowland Kids. These are the PJ pants. Again, like I said, I'm doing a lot of Lowland Kids pants because these are all sewing up for the little comparison project that I'm doing. And these are the PJ pants. They have a gusset down the front and back. There is a gusset you can do one with a seam or one without a seam. And I like the one without the seam if possible. The seam is really more for directional fabrics, but these are in cotton spandex. And these also have a elastic waistband fold over option or the yoga band. I like the yoga band for little kids. Again, this is for my 12-month-old. So these are a little bit more fitted. And again, I'll pop up a picture of my daughter in these. And next we have the gusset pants from Lowland Kids. And these are an extremely quick sew if you're looking for something quick and easy. The gusset pants, but I will say these are kind of for me, they kind of top out at like a 2T, 3T, just based on the fit. They don't have a front seam, so it does bunch up a little bit. So when the kids are in diapers, these are great because there's a lot of extra room for them, and it does have the built-in gusset, which gives them a little bit extra room. And then once they're out of diapers, it kind of like makes it look like they're wearing a diaper and is bunchy, and I'm not a fan of that. You might be okay with it, but I don't really like it. And then so a lot of people for really, really quick sew will leave the gusset out. I do not recommend leaving the gusset out. It just makes the fit so much better. And I do have a tutorial on this where I talk about all of those things in the gusset and what it's for in there. And then it has the fold over elastic waistband, which again, I do have a tutorial for fold over elastic waistbands. But this is another French terry from Raspberry Creek. And again, super quick, super simple sew if you are looking for one. And another pair of pants from Lowland Kids. These are the lounge sweats. These are really simple and really easy as well. These, they actually gave away, they had a like teach your friend to sew promotion that you could get the pattern for free to learn how to sew, or to get a friend to get it so that you could teach your friend to sew. And they're just really straightforward pants. There's really nothing too special about them, but they do have nice long cuffs that you can fold the cuffs over, which is great if you are looking for something to fit a little bit longer. And it also has a fold over waistband option, which I did not do, and I do kind of regret it. So the waistband, I just cut it in half. So if the waistband was folded over, it would still be this high. And really the only reason that I regret it is because this ribbing, which was from Lowland Kids when they had fabric, it's been a little bit since they've done that, but it's just really not super stretchy and doesn't have great recovery. Typically ribbing is like really like tight, and this one is just not, so it is kind of loose. I may take it off and just cut off a bunch of it to make it a little bit tighter so they stay up a little bit better. And then this is a French terry, and this one really doesn't have any stretch in it, and it did still work with these pants. So these are the lounge sweats, and again, I do have a tutorial for these as well. All right, we are getting towards the end. Like I said, I actually got quite a bit done. Granted, it is over 2 months, but that is a lot of stuff that I have done. So the next thing is, again, another unfinished item. I need to top stitch the waistband and then hem these, but I do need to get matching thread. So these are, I think it's the newest pattern from Woollen Kids. It's the newest pants pattern for sure at the time. And these are the City Block sweats, and they have this yoke on the back of them, and they have a really cute stripe detail, and then they have this I guess color block bottom hem at the bottom, and then they are hemmed. And these are just a really fun one. I do like that they are hemmed. It's a little bit different, but the one thing that I will say, so my daughter has a shorter inseam for her age. She's actually in the, so she has a 6 to 9 month inseam. She's in the like 9 to 12 month size, and then her height is in the 12 to 18 months. So she has a longer torso. But for the pants, I typically will just make the straight 12 months, because then they are longer, and since it's stretchy, the length will just grow with her and allow her to wear them longer. So when there's a cuff, that is fine, because you can take the cuff and you can just kind of push it up and it holds everything up. When they are hemmed, that does not work out. So if you have a kiddo with a shorter inseam, when you're doing these, just make sure that you actually pay attention to that inseam, and you may want to actually hem those. But like I said, this is a really fun pattern, and I did make a tutorial for this that I am working on getting up and out, and it's either gonna have just been released or will be released right after I get this video published, because I'm still working on editing that a little bit. So this is a cotton spandex, again from Millie Dot. I think it was an organic one, I can't quite remember. And then this was a cotton spandex French terry from Raspberry Creek, and then this is a imported cotton spandex from a company that's out of business now. So there is that. And then with that, there's also the City Block sweatshirt. So that is this one, and I don't know what is on here. I need to wash this off, I just noticed that. But this has a really cute like V color blocking, and there are options for welt pockets on the sides. I was kind of short on time, so I did not get to the welt pockets. I do want to make another one of these and do the welt pockets and hopefully film a tutorial with that, just because I know that can be a little confusing. And then on the sleeves, it has the matching stripe. So this is the matching little outfit. It is great for making a little coordinating set, and it just has fun little details to allow for the color blocking and just make it a little bit more unique. And something that took a big chunk of my time was our family Christmas pajamas. So the girls had Cindy Lou Who, and we used this, I say we, I did it. I used this yarn dyed cotton spandex from Purple Seamstress Fabrics. I love them. I love Mel for all of the cotton spandex solids and the stripes. The stripes are so soft, and they're yarn dyed, which means the inside is the same. It's not printed, it's actually dyed and woven like that, so it's not going to fade or anything. And then I used a matching solid. So this is the Lassen set from Little Lizard King, and there's a bunch of different options. This is like the most basic options for the pajamas. And then I got this DTF on Etsy from a shop and just put it on with my iron. And so I made a set for Ellie, and then Addie has a matching set in a bigger size. And then I made a set for myself. I used the Lassen top for me, and which is the Styla pattern, which is the adult patterns for Little Lizard King. And I have made myself Little Lizard or Styla patterns before and hadn't had issues, so I just was like, I'm just gonna make this one. I looked at the pictures and I was like, it is a little bit fitted, so I sized up one, and it did not turn out. It does not fit me right, and I'm very disappointed because some of the pictures, like, it's not like meant to be super tight, and the pictures are a bit deceiving on the listing. All of my measurements fit in the size that I should fit in, and it was just way too tight for me. And then another thing was that the shoulder was extremely narrow. Now I do sometimes have to do broad shoulder adjustments, so that's fine. But it was like, I mean, I would have had to add like an inch and a half. It was just way too narrow. And then I realized that I had never made a sleeved pattern from Styla, especially one with a fitted sleeve. So I think that their sleeved block is probably just not the best for me. I do also think it is an older pattern, so maybe it needs updated or something. But I was really excited about my Cindy Lou Who shirt, and now I can't really wear it. I'm trying to think if maybe like I might open up the seams and put like a strip in the sides, and you know, down the sleeves as well, and just see if that helps. But yeah, it didn't really work out. And thankfully I didn't do the pants. For the pants I actually made myself a pair of shorts because we were kind of short on fabric and I didn't really think I would wear the pants. So I made myself the essential, or the loungeabout sweats, which is one of my patterns, and it has a short option, there's a wide leg option, and then I can't even remember what I call the other one, but I used the wide leg option, and then I did size up one to make them a little bit looser. These are just kind of like a nice big flowy like boxer fit, which is exactly what I was going for, and I love them, and they are high-waisted, and sometimes I even will just roll it down and make it really comfortable. I will say I do buy my elastic. I buy the sport waistband elastic from Wall Walk, and it is the best elastic. It is so stretchy and soft. It doesn't squeeze you in. I'll put a link to it below. I think it only comes in an inch and a quarter, an inch and a half though, which is what is a bummer. But I will adjust my patterns to be able to use that elastic. I have tried elastic from Joann's, I've tried elastic from Amazon, a couple different places, and I always come back to this. I ran out of it for a while and I was struggling because I did not have it, and nothing was fitting right. So then for the boys, we did, oops, this one is inside out, Grinch instead of Cindy Lou Who. And so for theirs, we used this lime green yarn dyed. So here's the inside, you can see that, and then it looks just like the outside. And so it was only my husband and my son, and I got the Grinch DTF from the same shop, and then did that, and then the matching lime green cotton spandex. And then for my son, again, this was the Lassen, and for his, I didn't think he would want the yoga waistband, so I did the fold over elastic waistband option. And whoa, just tripped over there, nothing. And so that was his. And so I made my husband a set too. For my husband, I used the movie night PJs from So Little Seam, which is actually a free pattern if you are in their Facebook group. And I was going to use that for all of us, but it's a free pattern, so take it for what it is. But the projector patterns and things like that are just kind of hard to see and use, so I just decided to go with the Lassen, and maybe if I would have used that one for me, it would have worked out, but it is what it is. So I might just save mine and use it for an upcycle for one of the girls once they grow out of theirs. And I forgot to grab them. See, and now I'm forgetting everything too, because I didn't even know that I sewed this much. So I sewed up for Addie and Teddy matching doll outfits. I used the doll Lassen from Little Lizard King, and I sewed up an outfit for their Bitty Baby twins. And for Bitty Babies, most doll patterns come in an 18, 15, sometimes a 13, and most of them are not made for Bitty Babies. Bitty Babies are much chunkier than the standard doll. So what I usually will do is I will take the 18-month or the 18-inch width and then the 15-inch height and use that. I will say for this one, it did come out still a little bit tight, but it worked. It's just for pajamas for the doll. The pants fit really well. They were a little bit loose. And then the top was relatively tight. I did sew it shut because I didn't have the Velcro for it, so I am a little bit concerned once I get the Velcro, if the Velcro is going to just kind of pop open. But so if I did it again, I would probably add a little bit of width to that one as well. But like I said, Bitty Babies are kind of hard to fit with those patterns. And a few other things that I do not have because they were gifts for people for Christmas. I sewed up, I'll pop it up here, I did a memory bear for uh, my husband's aunt from his grandma. I used her pajamas and I made a teddy bear and stuffed it for her. My mother-in-law wanted to give that to her for Christmas, so I went ahead and did that for her, and I'm actually going to make her another one. And I will pop up a picture here of it. I obviously don't have it anymore. It turned out really cute, and the hardest part was that the pajamas were knit, so I had to interface everything, and that took a while. And then putting on the head was pretty hard, sewing the head on. But other than that, the pattern was pretty good pattern. I bought it on Etsy. I got it for like $3. It had really good reviews. And one thing it has like a whole bunch of different sizes as well. And one thing I will say that a lot of the pattern pieces just say cut to, where me having enough sewing background, I knew to cut mirrored images of them, you know, like the sizes of faces. And that's kind of, I may just like send an email to the designer and say something, because it is meant to be like a memory bear, and if somebody tries this pattern, they might not have enough of a fabric, you know, if they're just using somebody's leftover shirt or something, that if they cut it wrong, you're kind of SOL. Luckily, like I said, caught that and knew that like on the sides and things like that, that I was going to need to cut them mirrored, and I did have quite a bit of material to use. So that's just my one thing about that pattern, is if you're using it, make sure you check that. But I will put a link to it. Like I said, I do recommend it. It did have good instructions and things like that. And then next was my daughter and I actually sewed a panel. It was a Moda panel. We did a little vlog that is coming soon of a drawstring bag and a little toy dinosaur. The bag is really cute. Again, this one, the instructions were kind of eeny, and I talk about that all in our video and things like that. But overall, if you know what you're doing, you can figure it out. But if somebody was a beginner sewist, I think they might struggle a little bit with it. But we had fun. My son loved it, and it turned out really cute. So yeah, those panels are just kind of fun ways to do little projects that have different prints or different things in them, or just to kind of be like, here you go, do this if you don't have an idea. And then the other thing was that I made my siblings some on paper towels, paperless paper towels, where you just take flannel and you cut it up basically, and you finish the edges, and then you use them as like napkins or paper towels. We've been using like the same ones for almost 3 years now, and they, you know, they're looking a little dingy, but they still work, and we have saved so many trees for them. And you just use I use the Snuggle, I think is what it is, flannel from Joann's. That's like $3 a yard almost always, and you can get a dozen out of a yard. And then I just serge the edges. I do have a tutorial for them as well. I will link them down below, but I made a set for my siblings for Christmas, and it ended up working out really well for my brother, because he had just decided they were going to nix paper towels in their household, so now they have a little bit of replacement. And the very last thing of 2024 that I sewed is the sweatshirt dress from Lowland Kids. It's releasing right at the beginning of the year, and it is just so cute. It is a sweatshirt with a skirt to make it a dress, and there is a raglan option, which is this one. It has the sleeves, or there's a sudden sleeves option where the seam line is off on the side, and so you can choose. And then it has the waistband, and then you just sew the gathered skirt into the waistband. And this is just so cute. This fabric, I don't know where it is. It's just black French terry and ribbing. And then I used this double brush poly that I've had forever, and I have been looking for the right project to use it for. And I thought it was so cute. This sheet, this is from Raspberry Creek, and it's just so cute. I'll pop up a picture of my daughter in that. But like, wow, like I said, I really like, I mean, I was talking to my mom, I was like, I don't have a good time to sew anymore. I do. But like I said, a lot of them are small, quick things like the pants for my daughter. A lot of those I would cut out like 3 or 4 of them and then sew them and get that done like in a day. I'm kind of just like still in shock that I got all that done in that time, even though I have a list of it. But anyways, I just love looking back because, you know, then I'm just not feeling so bad about myself and thinking that I haven't gotten to do anything. So keep track of what you sew, look back on what you did, and it's just fun to kind of see, you know, I can look back at the beginning of the year and see everything that I sewed all year and be like, oh, it's been that long since I sewed that. I even look like some of the dresses I made my daughter 2 years ago that she still wears now. I'm like, how was that 2 years ago? It's crazy. But I hope that you liked this video and you maybe found some new patterns, some new fabric shops, got some inspiration on different things to sew or shops to check out. And like I said, that's kind of the other reason besides me to see what I did, to give you guys those ideas and inspirations as well. But if you want to follow along as I work on these things, I typically share everything on my Instagram. It's at Sewbexx. It's SEWBEXX, and you can follow me there to follow along. And if you have any questions about any of the patterns or fabric or anything like that, you can leave a comment down below and I would be happy to answer any of those questions. And if you like this video and you want to see more, make sure you hit that subscribe button so that you're notified of future videos. Thanks for watching. Bye.